Welcome to another time of me procrastinating on this video and having to cram and finish it at 4:30 p.m. and I have finals next week and I have 3 projects due and I have... Okay, we're going too far. I'm spiraling. No tearing today, but we are going to talk about the semifinalists. Our top 2 teams, obviously the best of the tournament, but I still feel there's a lot of things that both of these teams need to work out. We're going to talk about the Titans first. They obviously had one of the better teams from the start of the tournament, and I feel like the main reason that people thought that this team wouldn't qualify was the anchoring mentality that they had last year. Sai and Gill and Butler all batted fairly slowly, usually around 150 to 160 a strike rate, not the fastest at that point in time. And also, their middle order and their finishing did not make up for it at all. Their pace attack looked fine at the start of the season, not the best, but it's been more impressive than most people thought it would look like. Rabada's power play bowling has been impressive. Siraj, Prasidh Krishna, Jason Holder, all been amazing. Rashid Khan's also been doing a lot better this season, so I don't really see much stopping this team. Most of their losses were just pretty close, or maybe just like a rare failure, right? But it's clear that the team still lacks some composure. We had Finn Allen, he was going ballistic on GT's Pacers, right? But instead of sticking to their strengths, they instead tried to do something different, which, again, always isn't a bad idea. I feel like some of the ways they bowled that game, very unlike GT. We saw Arshad Khan, he went way off his line in order to get Finn Allen out, and that didn't really work. He went for 15 runs in that over, right? I also do think that the slow starts will harm them, especially while chasing. Out of their 5 losses, 3 of them have been while chasing, and out of the 5, 4 of them have had some sort of a scare with the top order. I get that they aren't the fancy type of team to put on 250 or chase down 230, but in this day and age, you do kind of need that mentality. However, if you look at Dharamshala, it's a pitch for Pacers, and that is where Qualifier 1 is being played. Let's discuss their opponent though, RCB. Like I predicted, they are first on the points table, but not really for the reason I was thinking. I have constantly, over the past 2 or 3 months, reiterated that RCB has the best middle order in the league, right? And I still stand by that claim. But they've been kind of terrible in the last 10 games. The team is very much dependent on Kohli firing, especially without Salt. But with Salt coming back, I think that RCB get a huge boost, not just to their top order, but to their middle order as well. The main reason for the middle order feeling, at least what I've seen, is that they are under too much pressure to score runs quickly because their power play isn't doing as well without Salt. When Salt comes back, even if Kohli does not fire, the team is still not under that much pressure. We do see this with Padikkal as well, not just the middle order. We see it with their number 3 as well. He's slowed down a bit since Salt left, right? They're clearly scared of a batting collapse. That's what I'm trying to say. Any version of RCB would have gone head-on to chase down 255, even if they didn't need to. Whether it's 2025 RCB, whether it's 2017 RCB, whether it's 2011 RCB, right? But this time they didn't because they were scared that accelerating would have triggered a collapse and they wouldn't have gone to 166, which would have lost them their chances for top 2, right? I also do think that Irish should play ahead of Shepherd, especially in these last couple of games. And they could use Shepherd or Duffy as an impact player depending on the situation. Obviously, if the batting collapses, you're going to use Shepherd. But if your batting does fine, you're going to use Duffy, right? I don't think that Jitesh will be dropped so that Saltwood can keep and they can still play Romario, because Jitesh has just been that good of a keeper. Their bowling is still kind of bad, but I do think if they have Duffy as an impact with the Venki, it will be a lot better. Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Rashik Salam have obviously been great. Krunal Pandya has been pretty solid. It's mainly just Hazelwood and Suyash Sharma. But with Jacob Duffy and Venki Iyer, they could share the number of bowlers, and they'll have 7 bowlers, which is very, very good. You don't need 7 bowlers, but it's good to have versatility, right? And I think it's just amazing that they can do that. If you count to David, they actually have 8 bowlers. But who will win Qualifier 1? Head-to-head, RCB and GT have gone 1-1 this season, and with Salt back, I definitely think that RCB have the upper hand here. RCB's middle order is solid enough to deal with this team, and I still think that it's going to be super close, but I feel like RCB would move on to the final first. Eliminator 1 is played between the Sunrisers and the Royals, and it's clear that Sunrisers clears here. They won both of their games against RR, and Rajasthan truly needs to play out of the current mentality that they're playing in order to win this game. Rajasthan clearly does have a problem with consistency and lose games pretty quickly when something that they don't expect happens. They really have one plan, and it's mainly just send out Suryavanshi and see what happens, right? It's there's no really like collapse protection with Jurel or Parag. Like Jurel and Parag, they've done well. Parag has that 90 against Delhi, I believe, and Jurel does have a couple of 50 or yeah, I think he has a couple of 50s to his name this season. Uh, but again, it's still not been their best. I also do think that they changed this up fairly well in the last two games, but I'm not sure if they're complete enough to beat Sunrisers. Sunrisers, on the other hand, have a really, really consistent top five. Three of their top five batters have scored 500 runs this season, all at fairly solid strike rates. Head and Nitish Kumar Reddy have also scored some valuable runs, with Saleh Larora being pretty good at the end. Their bowling has been alright. They have been quite expensive, but Cummins has been really good and has solidly improved. They have some elite slower ball bowlers as well. They have Ishan Malinga, they have Saqib Hussain, they have Praful Hinge, who are pretty good with slower balls, and both Suryavanshi and Jaiswal can have some problems with slower balls, especially early on in the power play. Rajasthan's finishers could also be really weak to these slower balls at the death. Rajasthan's only real way out of this is their bowling, and that's if Jofra Archer, Yashraj Punjab, Brajesh Sharma, Jadeja, and Berger, they all have to be on the same consistent rhythm. I also do think that Rajasthan should be using more than five or six bowlers in a game. They have the option to use seven bowlers in a game with Riyad Parag, and I think that they should do that. Also, maybe stop using your all-rounders as impact players. Just a suggestion, like you could sub out Brajesh Sharma. You could have Jadeja in the regular batting lineup and just sub in Brajesh Sharma later while subbing out Vaibhav Suryavanshi, right? Anyway, again, these are huge problems with Rajasthan's team, and I believe that they will lose Eliminator 1. Again, this is still just a prediction. I think that a lot of these can go wrong, and they probably will because, again, I'm the same guy who predicted Rajasthan would not end up in playoffs and they'd end up at 9th place, which is very surprising that they did that this season. But, again, that's relevant. For Eliminator 2, Gujarat and Sunrisers would face off as per my prediction. I still do think that this match is a toss-up. Similar to the KKR game, I feel like GT can go off the rails here if any drops happen. Sunrisers batting, again, they've been fairly lucky over the past couple of games. I guess even just the whole season they've been pretty lucky, right? And it's for sure one of the main reasons that they're qualified. I'm not going to call them completely luck-based. I still do think that they have some really good strats, especially with Klaassen early on and Nitish Kumar Reddy early on. And even their bowling has been really, really good. I'm not going to call them purely a luck-based team, but it's been a contributing factor to some of the runs that Abhishek Sharma has scored. It's been a contributing factor to some of the runs that Ishan Kishan has scored. It's been a contributing factor to some of the runs that Travis Head has scored. I don't think Nitish Kumar Reddy or Heinrich Klaassen have had as many drops, but it's been that kind of season for the Sunrisers. However, I still do think that their pace attack is very, very good, and they can contain GT. There is a chance. This is a fairly balanced new Chandigarh pitch, and slower balls can be great here. While Sunrisers do require a lot of luck, I don't see GT getting past the pace attack of the Sunrisers. It's also possible that GT's bowling completely ruins the Sunrisers like they did in Ahmedabad this year, and we saw how good Rabada was against Sunrisers' batting lineup, and GT is also a fairly good fielding side. They're actually a really good fielding side, surprisingly. Middle order, Sunrisers' middle order plays without Ishan, Head, or Abhishek scoring even a bit of runs they normally lose. You can see how conflicted I am on this. They seem pretty equal, honestly. And again, this is coming from a guy who doesn't really like the Sunrisers from a personal standpoint. So like you can see, I'm very, very conflicted on this. I'm going to go with Gujarat since they have the more well-rounded team, at least on paper. Again, it could very much be the Sunrisers. For the final rematch, I believe that RCB will win again here, with their second trophy in a row, which will make them the fourth most successful team in IPL history. I do believe that GT has a very good chance. Sunrisers honestly has a really good chance as well. And you know what? Maybe even Rajasthan has a really good chance, But RCB they seem like the most likely candidates. And that's it for today. Tell me if I'm wrong. Bye.